Welcome to Friday afternoon here on twitch.tv/DDOstream and youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live. I'm DDO's community manager, Cordovan, here to run some quests, kick off the weekend in style, have a little fun, answer some questions, kind of usher in the weekend in a very DDO-like manner. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing good. I know that I am doing good. We have got a Flasks and Augments bonus going on through the next week. This is in the Hall of Heroes, the Champion Remnants vendor. You can find the Augments and the Flasks through next Thursday through Sunday, +2 loot boost and all this stuff, stacks with whatever. Big time on Lamania. On Lamania right now, we've got not only Against the Slave Lords available for preview, but we also have a somewhat more polished version of Caneth Crafting. It still needs more work, because we're not releasing until perhaps as soon as September 13th. What? Is that a date? Yes. If you've been listening, we did some interviews recently on DDO Cast and the Damsels of DDO, and we broke a little news. So I guess we can just sort of make that, it's semi-official. We're targeting the 13th. Does that mean we're launching on the 13th? I don't know. Maybe. Odds are decent. Unless something happens between now and then, which often happens. Hey, Kane Cord. Hey, Civic Spoon. How you doing? Is the Slave Lords actually available on the Lamania? Yes, we had a problem where some premium players couldn't see it in the DDO store, so we fixed that just about an hour ago. So you should be able to check that stuff out. We do have a dev event tonight on Lamania. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Lamania. I know Cookie Kobold and I and probably a couple other folks are going to be hanging out on Lamania. In particular, here to answer your questions about the Slave Lords quest pack. Just in general, be there to preview the new quests. So, there we go. So what am I doing? I'm on the character select screen because this past week and then next week I'm on Caneth, and on Caneth I just don't have a character I like, and I want to make a deep gnome. So I figured let's. I have a druid on Caneth, but it was kind of a quick roll character. It wasn't very. I don't know. I'm not really into it. So instead, I'm going to just make something. We'll roll up something relatively quick. Figured I'd be an illusionist, which makes things fairly easy to figure out. I always like to start with a 14 con. At least a little strength. I don't really need any charisma. So can I get 20? There we go. All right. So a little wisdom, because that's always good. And a little more dex. And we're set. So this character is going to start at level 15. And we'll just kind of run whatever. Spellcraft. Always like to give myself a little balance. And jump, of course. Heal never hurts. I guess it's a wizard. I can do a pair. So, what are your guys' plans for Z Weekend? Got anything really cool going on? Let me know. Talk a little bit about your DDO plans. Take Quicken right off the bat. I am a firm believer in Quicken. I know not everybody is, but for me, Quicken is kind of important. Sort of the most important, perhaps. Oh, I have to select spells? That's... Okay. So, sleep, shield. Now we get 2. I like to just sort of do the random thing sometimes to see if you end up with something cool. It's not bad. Yeah, there we go. Oh, taken. How about... Kabalkalog. There we go. So yes, update 32. We're targeting September 13th. We'll see what ends up happening here. The next thing that I'm going to be working on is a named loot page for update 32. We're also going to be putting together a Caneth crafting tutorial overview, largely based on the post that's up on the Mania right now. So that's a thing. Weekend plans tests the slave lords. Now, you know, as usual with Lamania, it's not quite done yet. You know, there's still a lot of decoration to be done. The XP isn't set. Monster statting in some cases needs to be done. So, I mean, part of the reason we're not, say, releasing next week is because it still needs more polish. But it is ready for a preview on Lamania. Something new for monks in update 32. I think monks are going to end up getting pushed to 33. And I'm sorry about that, but that happens sometimes, unfortunately. They're just not ready to go. So we want to get it out as soon as it's ready to go. And if it's not ready to go, then we just aren't going to get it out yet. This is a deep gnome? Yes, correct. The caveling optional in A2 hasn't been included yet, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, you know, there was a time when it was going to be a little bit sooner than September 13th, but, you know, we just got this stuff on the Mania. You know, it needs a little more time to sort of get in the stuff we want to get in, and that's that. So we just had to make a decision to you know, move it out. So we did. But yes, it would have been nice. But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. I think you're gonna, you know, we're gonna be able to use that time to bring you a better release, right? So that's what it's all about. So. I am a big fan of the chain missile spell. I think it is a great one. I use it quite a bit on my wizard on Thelanis. You can never go wrong with spell pad. Well, maybe you can. Yeah, I guess I'll take a spell pen. There we go. Make it easy. Gotta do the haste. Gotta do the lightning bolt. Oops. So Greyhawk is a fact with the Temple and now the Slave Lord, so we can expect the next big expansion, like said Severlin, focuses in Greyhawk with a starter zone in Hamlet, they say. No, so Greyhawk is licensed just like the Forgotten Realms and Everon and all the rest, and we don't do Greyhawk per se. Now, because they were the setting of the classic packs, or the original classic modules, we kind of do. We're just non-specific about it, right? It's a generic world that the gatekeepers just don't fully understand yet, that kind of thing. But if you're expecting parity in terms of names and places, not really. The Kane Corin says monks are getting a major overhaul and will take more time. They are fixing the hand wraps to be more like weapons and not a hybrid, and it is more complicated to do. All of this is correct. Yeah, it's a good point to give a quick shout out to Lunabelle, who has been on the stream here a little bit. Today's her last day. So, as a matter of fact, some folks are going out to lunch right now to celebrate it and that sort of thing. So, we wish you the best, Lunabelle. She was a summer intern here with us, did a really great job, and I think endeared herself quite well to the DDO community. So, we wish her nothing but the best. Fun to have around, and actually got in some stuff last couple of days. Managed to get in some pretty good good things actually. So it's all good. Sometimes I kind of wish we could just automate these skill points where you're just like, I don't know, just everyone go into the things. Would be cool. I should probably do greater spell focus. If I'm going to do PK, then I'm going to really need, or spell pen, then I'm going to really need as much as I can get. And I'll deal with some of the kind of like memorizing spells and all that sort of thing later. I'm not going to deal with that right now. But I just didn't want to play the Druid on Caneth for the next week, because I want to actually start making some progress on Caneth. So I want to make sure I have a character that I actually enjoy playing. That's actually a good point. Why don't we talk a little bit about character creation? When you are starting fresh on, like, say, a new server and that, how do you decide, sort of, what's your thinking process? Do you like to go with a character that you've never played on a different server? Or because it's your first character on the server that you really want to play, do you tend to go with someone that, like, a known build, something that you know you're going to want? Or do you like to experiment? I'm curious what your answers are. I guess I should do lightning, and I'm not a huge, I guess mind fog. Yeah. The next expansion is either Ravenloft or a planar one. So these are, Sev has been careful to make sure that we use the word possibilities. Here's one idea of what it might look like, things like that. Nothing is set in stone on this stuff yet. We have a little time to figure it out. So it may well be that the end thing that is something completely different. Or maybe not. You know? Maybe not. What spell am I looking for? Yeah, there we go. Plan ahead for standard builds. Standard builds. Yeah. So in this case, like I said, I have a gnome, but I didn't. I like my gnome a lot. My gnome wizard on Thelanis, but especially for Caneth, I have not played a deep gnome, so I figured it'd be a good opportunity to play a race that I'm less familiar with. Yes, I know I put in points into swim. I'm doing this on purpose. Because that's the kind of quality player I am. Use the first character builder. Oh yeah, use a character builder tool first to build a character, and then just sort of do it that way. Yeah, that's definitely a recommended for a lot of cases. You know, sometimes I tend to sort of go for it, but clearly, but you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Friday afternoon, it's a casual time. Hey, do you know what? I am actually going to be having the best weekend. So this weekend, I get to be in a kind of at least one-off, maybe short-term, 5th edition pen and paper campaign with Eladrin, Flimsy Firewood, and a few other folks. So it's going to be a good time. So yeah, I'm more of a running gunner when it comes to this sort of thing. I'm just like, just make it up as I go along. I know, not the wisest decision, but that's the way I am. So yeah, I probably want Empower, I would assume. Necromancy. The Necromancy, by the way, is for, say, Disrupt Undead. Eventually it'll be for some of the other Necromancy, Finger of Death. So that's why I'm focusing on that. I should probably go for... Ooh, this one's a tough one. Symbol of Death, Polar Ray. Yes, Charm. Polar Ray, Symbol of Death. Symbol of Death. And Polar Ray. Auto-Irresistible is a good choice as well. For enhancements, I think let's check out the Deep Gnome racial enhancements just for funsies. Percent dodge, magical resistance rating. Give myself a little bit more intelligence. Don't really need to worry about that. Definitely can always use a +3 to all your saves. Ooh, permanent blur. I will take that. I guess I didn't need to take blur then as a spell, but whatevs. I'm not a big wand and scroll user. Ooh, Usury Escape sounds cool. Who doesn't like a big boulder? Who doesn't like that? PK. Favored enemy of goblin kind. I'm not too worried about my dodge bonus. Can always use that. Not going to do color spray. I don't need the stone skin SLA. I don't need illusion DCs. Alright, so that's going to be that. So Archmage, Pale Master, Eldritch Knight. Let's just go for Archmage. And we'll do magic. Actually, maybe I should do electric. Gust of Wind. Work. Chain Missiles, though, is a pretty nice one. It has a low spell point cost, and I actually use it quite a bit. Oh, good enough for now. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, the character planner is a really good one, and the character builder light. If you haven't used either of those before, then, I mean, you just cannot say enough good things about it. It's so good. Both the Character Builder Lite and the Character Planner are both just incredible tools that everybody should be familiar with. Do the big spew. See, I've got a lot of expansions and stuff over the years, so, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Why do I need to reinstall the Lamania launcher for character copy for it to appear? It's happened twice so far. I don't think you need to. We had an issue yesterday, right when we launched Lamania, that character copy was no longer available. And as we had to enable something on the back end that we just didn't get the opportunity to do, or I'd forgotten that we needed to do it since it's the new launcher system. So we got that done. I guess it was an hour or so later. So that may be what you ran into. You know, for example, perhaps you were trying to do it, and so you reloaded the launcher, and by that time you had done the work and it fixed. But you shouldn't have to redo character copy every time. Vortex says, Jerry on Lamania, the chest with the materials to craft items only gives 1 token. Will it give more once it's released to live? I'm not sure what you mean by 1 token. Sorry. Alright, so that's what we got going on there. Oh my gosh, all this gear spew. But that would, you know, if there is a launcher issue, then yeah, going to Lamania is gonna, or just reinstalling the launcher would probably take care of the problem. Alright, this will get me probably good enough for today. So, if you are interested, let me... You know, I've had forgotten that the UI layout load command was active. I haven't done that in a while. I should set that up on my computer here so that when I create a new character, I can just go psh, pop it up. It's a really useful thing. If you're not familiar with it, use check into UI layout load and save. Mm-hmm. Well worth checking out. So I usually use my bottom bar as immediate attacks, 2 as AoEs. Which we shall see. I'm a big fan of Finger of Death. Same with Undeath to Death too. It's has a long cooldown, but it's extremely useful. I know some people use Disintegrate a lot, but I have to admit that I have not been a big Disintegrate user in general. I keep Disintegrate specifically for stuff that are resistant to other elemental effects, like the Mind Center, Crystal, and Shroud portals. Yeah, that's a very good one. I missed placing Blur on the toolbar. Yes, I did that on purpose, because remember, as a, I have Blur, I'm under the effects of a permanent Blur as part of my enhancements, as a dude. See, permanent Blur. So I don't need it. Alright, so the most likely actual scenario that I would be using here would be something along these lines, probably. Except I'm actually a bigger fan of lightning bolts, so I'm going to move that over. That looks pretty good. Hey, Everkeen. Hey, Swamp Bat, Everkeen, how you guys doing? Figured as long as I'm hanging around Wayloon and we have some heroic mid-teen Wayloon stuff, might as well run that. Start with the escape plan. Alright, so Amy Lee 4000 is a question that I can answer. Sorry for the question, but what is really Akamai? I know that I can shut it down, but always stay up in my system. So, Akamai is sort of a file distribution system that is used by Amazon and a whole bunch of other big groups. And it's used to help update the launchers. So, once the launcher's updated, you don't need Akamai anymore. Get rid of it. Keep it on your computer as well. It's perfectly fine. You're probably using it for other programs like Adobe products and things like that. But it's basically some kind of way to manage the distribution of updates like launchers and things like that. I guess that's my best answer. I know that's not the greatest answer, but I'm not the most techie person either. So, you know, you can read up on it, but basically it's just a way to help manage file distribution, and it's pretty common. On King this week, level 15, still have slots open. Yes, yes, and yes. All of these things apply to me. Sure, no problem, Swamp Bat. Let me take this opportunity to get myself some healing. The other thing I don't want to announce on the live stream. I don't want to. It's a big piece of news, so I don't want to announce it on the live stream today. But you might want to keep an eye on the forums later today, because we are getting ready to announce who our next Dungeon Master will be. I know some of you who have been on Lamania have already kind of figured it out, but in case you don't know who that is, you will find out very shortly. Alright, why don't we just sort of get started here, huh?
When night falls, the expedition stops to make camp. The magistrate waves you over to discuss your guard duties. It should be a quiet night, says the magistrate. There's no one around for leaves. Suddenly, a harsh voice calls from the darkness.
Not true, human. We've been stalking you for hours. You are easy prey. Attack!
A prisoner is being freed. A prisoner has escaped.
Oops. Okay. Bummer. That's what I did wrong. Alright, I'll fix that later. I don't need to worry about that now.
A prisoner is being freed.
Could sound like a bad thing, eh? Prisoner is being freed. So much wall of fire. Let's see how that finger of death is working out. Not so hot on that little guy. How about that? One thing I also forgot to do here that I'll do when I get some downtime that's worth mentioning as well is I haven't applied the meta magics to my SLAs yet. That's something you're going to want to do if you are starting off, because those SLAs are very nice on meta magics. I would basically just do an always on everything. Yep. Wow, so many crowns. They're all lining up just for me. Yeah, nice remnant drops.
The magistrate surveys the battlefield. Is it over? He asks. At least the scaly beggars weren't able to lay a claw on our most important prisoner. Wait a moment. What's that down by the water? A reptilian form dashes towards the shard priest.
Sorcery must succeed where steel has failed. This brain is too valuable to leave behind.
Without wasting a moment, the shaman takes the shard priest through the dimension door. We can't let Dedrick Black escape, fumes the magistrate. They'll have my head if we don't get him to Wayland. Though they can't have gone far. Ah, of course. Let us speak.
Yeah, you know, when I get a little bit of a time, what I'm going to do is, you know, equip myself out. I have some stuff on Caneth here, not a lot, but a little bit, so.
The shaman must have taken the shard priest somewhere close by. It's time to venture into the forest and find them.
No, on the guild, not at the moment. I'll figure that out soonish. Can't believe I survived that. How unlike me. Bear trap. I need to get a better mouse in this room here. It's just not very good. Ah, no.
Ding.
No. Yeah, you did, Katrina. Come on, whose job is it to bring me alive? Keep me alive? Me or my hireling? I have the aggro, all of the aggro. Just been dancing. There we go. Yeah, so it is actually a nice, nice weekend to be getting all these remnants. So yeah, it's going to be a fun pen and paper campaign weekend. Could be really cool. Lamania 79 heading home, doing the Thalanis weekly static group, doing pen and paper on Saturday. No major plans. It's going to be a good weekend.
This must be the lizard folk camp. The shaman priest is on the bluff above, still bound with the war wizards and enchantments. There too stands the shaman who took him. The shaman is not surprised to see him.
We hunt the same prey. So be it. We are both hired blades, and that is the risk we take. Now, let us find out, says the shaman, whose gold was better spent, your paymasters or mine.
I'm gonna say ours.
Edward Black is back under guard, yet troubling questions remain. Who hired lizard folk? Will they try to free the Shar priest again? The answers lie further down the river in the prison city of Wayland.
Not bad for straight out of the character creation quest. We got time for one more. Hey, Cleavebeard, Shoemaker, Forehand, Pie, Tart the Fearless. That's a good one. Mellowfee. How you guys doing? Appreciate you joining me. Alright, Disciples of Shar. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Okay, well, very cool, Shu. I didn't realize that was you. Very nice.
The air grows crisp.
Actually, you know what? I'll just let it
Climb
go.
into the foothills of the
We're
storm.
okay. I'm okay for
Time,
now.
You reach the place where the Shar worshippers were. The embers of this campfire still smolder. Symbols of the dark goddess Shar lie scattered in the dust. Cut
What?
tree limbs block this mountain path. Someone is trying to keep travelers away from this area. Shar worshippers guard the mouth of a deep cave.
I am deliberately not talking about the Lamania content, the slavers stuff, because I know a lot of people like to preview this, but there are also folks who don't want spoilers. And so, especially on the kind of Friday show like this, I don't really want to be too spoilery on things.
The sounds of your recent battle surely alerted any Shar worshippers in the cave. They will be ready for you. The interior of the cave is strangely empty. Have the Shar worshippers fled? Or do they
Some
simply
people
lie in
talk
wait
about Neverwinter
further
Nights
on?
too. You know, I only played that a little bit, so I can't really comment as to how some of this compares to that. But yeah, it was great. I love rolling up characters, and I got to roll up a character. I'm going to be playing. So this is I'm trying to think the form. A sort of individual campaign world set for this, which kind of, I don't know quite how best to describe it. It's a little bit unusual for a D&D campaign. We're all going to be playing these kind of like were-rat type creatures, a little bit almost like mouse guard, but not really. And that's going to be kicking off this weekend. It's going to be a really good
The
time.
gate opens to the west. The Shar worshippers use these gates to keep intruders away from her inner sanctum.
Now I'm going to put...
captured enough disciples for interrogation purposes. Though, of course, the magistrates will be grateful if you capture more followers of the Shadow Goddess. Broken support beams and large boulders show that this part of the cave collapsed quite recently. The gate opens to the east. Chanting echoes through the stone.
So yeah, you know, as Sub was saying, we are looking probably update 33. Ideally, we want to do both Monk and Favored Soul. But it's anything even somewhat like a commitment or promise would just be too early and potentially erroneous. But that's our goal. That's kind of like, well, I guess what you might say is a stretch goal. If we can do it, we will. Can't, well, then it'll be 33 and 34 or something like that. We shall see.
The disciples surrendered, and the magic barrier they created fades.
So let me take an informal poll of people that are in the Twitch chat room. Out of the 30 people here or whatever, how many of you actively want to play a kobold? If you want to play a kobold, raise your voice in chat. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it might be an optional, but we could still do it.
This section of the caves is blocked off. What are the shards trying to keep out?
Alright, cool. You know, it's something that has been... It's come up quite a few times, actually, over the years, on the forums in particular. People saying, wouldn't it be great if... And we're in a position because, you know, we want to work on some tail tech. And our ability to deliver that for both Tiefling and Asmir Tiefling and Kobold, you know, we can kind of dual purposes. That's part of why it's been a consideration. This would just be fun, maybe? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the coming months. We would love to get your feedback. Yeah, I think a kobold sork would be fun. Like a kobold rogue could be really fun too. Kobold barbarian could be a lot of fun.
Corpses rot inside these makeshift cells. A cruel fate awaits those who disobey Shah. A gate creaks open somewhere to the south. A gate creaks open somewhere to the northeast.
Personally, Shoemaker says race choice is more about the numbers than the looks and feels. If kobold was the best choice for a certain build I want to build, I'd play it. You know, that's ultimately true. One consideration is that the kobold might be deliberately a little more challenging to play. But, you know, there's still time and all that stuff, so who knows? But, you know, as Sev stated in the, I guess it was the Damsels of DDO, kobold, racial past life, racial past life, racial past life. Why did I repeat that? In the new Caneth crafting, will bound shards of potential, will they be new, or can I use the old ones in crafting? They will be new. You will not be able to use the old ones in crafting. And the reason for that is there will no longer be shards of potential used in the new Caneth crafting system. The new Caneth crafting system doesn't have is not a potential-based system. It is a minimum level-based system. So the way it's going to work is you'll be crafting your blank, you'll deconstruct it, what have you. You'll apply a minimum level shard to it, let's say minimum level 21 shard, and then you'll put on these shard effects, you know, like prefix, suffix. You can use mark a house Caneth, give it an extra bonus slot, things like that. And you'll put on strength and it'll automatically scale to the power level of the minimum level shard that you have put on it. So for example, if you have a minimum level 21 shard you put strength on, it'll be the strength bonus that applies in Caneth crafting for minimum level 21, which is generally not on the low end of the range in random gen loot, but not on the super duper uber rare table either. So it's a high section in the middle end. And all those numbers exactly can be found on the Lamania forums, probably the DDO wiki. Maybe Shoemaker could chime in, but I'm pretty sure it's already on the wiki, or if it's not, it will be soon. And all that. But so there are no shards of potential, so you're going to want to use them up now, if you have anything that you want to use. Otherwise, you can break it down for essences and then exchange those essences for the new Caneth essences, if that's your preference. But that's the guidance on shards of potential. And shards in general, frankly, for Caneth crafting here. For the old Caneth. Wisdomman's also looking for a cleric pass.
Bound in shame.
It's not on our immediate agenda to do a cleric pass, but the cleric will benefit most likely from any war priest changes and that sort of thing that we might do. So I think short term, that's where you'll see a benefit to clerics. But really, we need to focus on favored soul, I think, more than cleric right now. Someone that says, well, how would a kobold be harder to play? It's too early even to speculate on that. The honest answer is, guess we'd have to figure that out. And that is, of course, what we'd be doing. But it's really, who knows at this point.
Though you arrived safely in Wade,
All right, that's going to do it with the live stream today. I really appreciate you joining me.
in fact,
Thank you very much for watching as well. We have got some shows going on this weekend. You can find our full schedule on twitch.tv/DDOstream and youtube.com/Dungeons&Dragons/live. Going to be working to get our archives up to date a little bit later on this afternoon. Hope you enjoy the DDO bonus days. Hope you're having fun in Lamania. Hope you check out our dev event tonight. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Cookie Kobold, me, and some of the devs will be on Lamania talking about Against the Slave Lords and more. Use /join channel dev chat if you want to join us in chat, and that'll be reiterated on Lamania as well, so you don't need to write it down or anything. Otherwise, I will see you next Wednesday for the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. Have fun. Good weekend.